idle land is a wasted opportunity.
And finally, to Ebenezer Oasis Farm.
Welcome, Kelvin.
Thank you so much.
Yes, karibu sana.
Asante.
Right.
So basically, guys, Ebenezer Oasis Farm. Ebenezer Oasis Farm. Well, I can tell you for a fact, from an accounting office to feeding lives on a daily. Today's episode is going to be the most inspiring. So you really need to watch this video to the very end. Well, and welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Farming is Fun with Smax Foundation. My name is Kelvin Juguna, and let's get into the video and get some really insightful moments and lessons at the same time. Let's dive into the story.
I started this farm in 2024, late 2024, around September. There were two reasons for starting this farm. One was because I wanted to make it use of this land. It's about just under 5 acres. But also, having worked with farming groups across the country, I thought that there was a need to create a smart farm or a model farm that people in this community can also learn from, because there is a very intense farming going on in this region. This place, part of Siaya County, is called Randago. It's in East Alego. And if you go around, you find that almost everybody is doing something small, just small subsistence farming, but they have land. If you go around, you'll find that people have access to 2 acres, 3 acres, but most of it is bush. So the idea is to build a model farm that people can see that within a small area, you can do a lot, and you can do something commercial. So it is a commercial farm, but it is also a learning center. This farm is just under 5 acres. You'll notice that there's a lot of kale, and it was a deliberate decision because there was a demand for kale. We intend to continue with kale, but we are also introducing other crops. Watermelon, we have done a trial with watermelon on half an acre. It did very well, so we want to increase that now to 1 acre. People in this area say tomatoes don't work. We have done some trials and we were successful. So we want to understand, what do they do that we have not, what did we do that they have not been doing, to understand why is it that they say that tomatoes cannot be grown here. And we're producing now. We are now going to do tomatoes in a fairly large scale. We don't want to do too many things because 5 acres is not that much if you want to do commercial farming. Otherwise, you'll break them to very small quantities, and you want economies of scale so that people can come from Siaya markets or from Bondo and come and buy from here. So we want to keep it to 2 or 3 crop types, and then just make a viable business out of that. I'm actually an accountant by profession, but I left mainstream accounting many years ago to pursue things that I thought were interesting. And one of the things was agribusiness. So I have been doing agribusiness projects, but mostly helping people doing agribusiness on the commercial side. Because you find a lot of people do farming, but they don't understand how the markets work. So I concentrated my efforts on 2 things. One, helping them understand how the markets function so that they can produce things that align with the market. So I've been forming a lot of groups, helping to form them into cooperatives. I incubate them. There are some that have already been formed but are not doing very well. I help to restructure them. But one of the things I believe is that you must work with professionals. So we have agronomists that we partner with here on the farm. The secret to healthy crops, number 1 is good agronomy. The second, of course, is water. If you don't have sufficient water, you'll be troubled. But the thing about water is to manage the water. Not too much, not too little. And the drip system, obviously, is the most efficient. And that's why we use drip in 90% of the farm. We as the farm owners are not the experts. So that person comes regularly, looks at the crop and decides what is needed at what point. There's a wide range of chemicals that we use because the perils of farming are many. Sometimes it is you can see that there's a worm or maybe a cutworm, and use a different thing for cutworm rather than, depending on what is harming the crop. But the important thing, and this is what I want to stress, have a qualified agronomist who can come and look at the leaves and tell you what is wrong and what is required. First of all, bed preparation, we have put animal manure in the whole farm. What I have experienced in other farms is that if you do a bit of value addition, you can double the return on the same crop. Any person who wants to go to the next level is value addition. And value addition is not simply mechanized tools and equipment. Value addition could also mean simple packaging that goes to that can be sold in digital marketplaces, that goes direct to a home in a package. Sometimes you can package for people onions, tomatoes, kale or cabbage or spinach as a package. That is also value addition. So sometimes you always think of value addition as processing, sometimes just simple packaging. This community has benefited immensely already from this farm. First, there are periods when we have up to 30 people working on the farm. On a regular basis, it's about 10. But a lot of people have benefited from work from this farm. But the other thing is that as you start walking away from this farm and going into the neighboring farms, you find that they have started to produce some of the things we're doing here, which they never used to do. I have seen more and more people beginning to take a small little pipe with a little petrol or diesel pump and pushing water into their farms, which means they're observing and recognizing that even if your farm is small, you can utilize the water that is running down here at the river. My message to young people is that one must understand that farming is business. But you must approach farming as an enterprise. And the difference between the typical farming or that people do and running a farming enterprise is that ordinarily farmers exploit the weather, they exploit the rains and so on. But a farming enterprise, once you have made your investment in the land and whatever equipment you have, you exploit the asset. So that if you're exploiting the asset, then you make it work year round, whether there is rain or not. You harness water and you can work all year round. Farming is profitable, there's no doubt about that. On an acre of kale, you can do very well. You can have returns on a, of course, kale, there are periods when now you let it build back. But if you're doing on a monthly basis, from an acre of kale, you can easily do 30,000-40,000 shillings. People go to the city to earn 20,000 shillings. So make use of land. Do not leave land idle. Idle land is a wasted opportunity. And you must be smart about how you invest. Balance between equipment and the actual production. Don't over-invest so that you're burning your cash on equipment and nothing to manage the farm.
That has been it. Such an inspiring story. From an office setup to feeding families on a daily basis. Well, have you been inspired? Myself, I'm so inspired. And for those people who have actually been saying that onions can't actually grow in Siaya, Izi ni nini? He had that, but he didn't let that limit him. So my name is Kelvin Juguna, your host of Farming It's Fun Show. This is Max Foundation, Smart Mechanized Agriculture and Climate Action for Humanity and Sustainability, and it is always for a better future. Thank you for watching the video to the end. Don't you forget to click that subscribe button so that you get to be notified anytime we get to publish and upload a new video. Until next time, for now, in the comment section, and bye-bye.